Hi, this is Ted at Valley of the Dolly. We just got the latest statistics for home sales in Portugal. Now, these numbers are always delayed by about 3 months. So the National Institute of Statistics in Portugal has issued these. And because they're always about 3 months after the fact, these numbers are for the second quarter 2023. The first thing let's talk about is the number of homes that are being sold in Portugal. What you're seeing is year over year in the second quarter, about a 25% reduction in the number of homes that are being sold. That's pretty dramatic when you think about the numbers that were sold last year, and you're seeing a 25% reduction in that number. As a matter of fact, this is the lowest number of home sales since the middle of 2017. Now let's break out the existing and from the new homes that are being sold. And you have really good news and you have somewhat kind of bad news. Let's take the bad news first. That's the existing homes. So existing home sales, again, are at about their lowest point since the middle of 2017. You'd have to go back that far again to find another quarter really where home sales were that low for existing homes. If you look at new home sales, you have a bright spot. So since the middle of 2021, new home sales have met or exceeded 6,800 every quarter. So the new home sales have become ever increasingly important to the market in Portugal and a larger slice of that number of homes that are being sold. And I personally think that part of this is because new homes have to sell. You're developing these homes, you're putting them on the market. It's imperative that you get those units sold. They're vital to returning the money that you put into building them. So builders and developers are a little bit more flexible with pricing. So you see that pricing for new homes has not increased as quickly as pricing of existing homes. But when we look at this chart now, when we start talking about the price of existing homes, yes, the price of existing homes and the price of new homes are still going up. But if you look at the price of existing homes a year ago, they were going up by up to 14% year over year. And that's not the case now. Right now, existing home sales, the price increases have continued to fall from a high of over 14%, now down to 8.9%, and they continue on a downward slope. The prices of new homes did get that spring kick, which you kind of expect, because you expect in spring, more people are ready to make that move. They're ready to buy, they're ready to sell. So they are looking for homes. So people looking for homes, those numbers generally increase in the spring and the summer, and we're seeing a slight uptick in that. So it's up to 8% for the increase in pricing for new homes. But overall, you're seeing that pricing is flat last quarter and this quarter at an 8.7% increase year over year for both quarters. So this 8.7 is it's somewhat similar to the number that was predicted by the Economic Experts Survey report, which predicted 8.2% yearly increases in the value of Portuguese real estate. The difference here you have to remember is that's an estimate going out 10 years, which is a really far estimate to make. And also the market has ups and downs. It's not a completely linear thing. So I would expect, my personal prediction is I think it may be a rocky market for the next 1 to 5 years. And a lot of this is dependent on interest rates in Portugal and interest rates across Europe. And these are being set by the European Central Bank. It's important to remember that with Portugal, it is uniquely exposed to interest rates because half of its debt is owed to the European Central Bank. So when interest rates go up, they owe potentially a lot more as well. And the Portuguese government has realized that these increases in interest rates have really hit existing home owners in Portugal. So they've provided a bright spot or a lifeline to a lot of Portuguese homeowners, because in Portugal, about 90%, almost 90% of home loans are adjustable rate mortgages. That means that when you've seen these incredible increases in interest rates over the last year put out by the European Central Bank, you've seen the home loan rates for homeowners in Portugal go up dramatically. And they may go up on a quarterly, semi-annual, or annual basis, but they've definitely been affected by this increase. So the relief that's being initiated and implemented here is a 30% reduction in the interest rates on those loans that people are paying. This does not mean that that reduction of 30% in interest being paid is being forgiven over the next 4 years. What it means is for the next 4 years, you may pay 30% less in interest. But after that, the remainder of the term and payments of the loan will be adjusted so that this interest that has not been paid can be paid later at a later date, meaning that that'll be additional that a homeowner will have to pay, but it's just simply being deferred. So for the next 4 years, that provides a bit of a cushion for Portuguese homeowners in the existing market. I also thought it was interesting, if you look at the Portuguese, according to the statistics, if you look at the Lisbon and the Algarve area, they account for about 33%, about a third of all home sales in Portugal. But they account for more than 50% of the value of all the homes being sold. And if you look at the north and central areas of Portugal, they account for over 50% of all the homes being sold, but only about a third, or a little more than a third, of the value of the properties being sold. So it tells you there's a real mix match going on there. If you look at Lisbon and the Algarve, they equate to over 50% of the value of homes being sold, but only about a third of the number, right? So there's a definite difference there, and the Algarve also has a lot of British, French, Swedish, a few Americans, but other nationalities have bought down in the Algarve. You see, although there's still a small American population in Portugal of expats, they number a little less than 10,000, which is maybe a quarter of what the British show, less than the Swedes or the Germans or French or any number, the Brazilians, Chinese, Ukrainian, but they are buying in Lisbon as well. So the question I'm asking to you is, where do you see these home prices going? Do you think it's going to be more linear and you're going to see these prices go up about 8% every year? Or are you thinking maybe more along the way that I'm thinking, that we may see a drop over the next year or so in the number and the value of the home sales? They'll continue to not increase at the pace they've been increasing. They may even actually go down into the negative territory before rebounding. Or do you see the prices just continuing to swing up at 8% every year? And the other question is, do you see it as a better value to rent or to own? Because in many ways, I think it still may be a better market here, even with the increases in rentals prices, now that they've started to implement all of these policies regarding limitations of Airbnbs, et cetera, and opening up more units, that rental prices may stabilize and possibly even reduce. So I'm interested to hear what you think about that as well. Do you think that renting is a better option than buying? And when exactly do you think maybe buying might be a better option? So this is Ted at Valley the Dolly. If you liked this conversation, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you.